Good SAT scores and self-entitlement do not supersede the law. That was NYPD Chief of Patrol John Chell's response to AOC's criticism of the police doing their jobs to protect students by removing privileged, hate-spewing, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, pro-terrorist protesters from Columbia University's campus.
But the campus squatters around the country remain undeterred, even receiving deliveries of expensive food and snacks to their tent city on the campus quad. But while these entitled Jew-hating brats are busy turning university campuses into anti-Semitic hippie festivals, studious, law-abiding seniors are paying the price, being robbed of a well-earned milestone.
I literally just I just can't even, I'm in shock right now. They just canceled our freaking graduation. Like, what now? What now? I just feel like there could have been a different way to go about this than to cancel the entire graduation for a class that never even got a high school graduation either.
Here with reaction, former Treasury Deputy Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, National Review education reporter Carolyn Downey, and the author of The Man Behind the Curtain, Matt Palumbo. Welcome to all of you. Tricia, I'll start with you. Pret sandwiches for the folks who are causing trouble, but if you're graduating, did your work and got your degree, no dice for you. What do you think about that?
This really is Coachella for communists. I mean, what's next? Ben & Jerry's catering? That's my prediction.
Probably already happening. Yeah.
Probably already happened. They are punishing, first of all, these administration officials are cowards, is what is really going on. They're letting really the prisoners run the asylum. Who is really getting punished? Who's really getting hurt? Are these kids who are looking for an education, who are actually working hard? And instead, they're bending the knee to the extremists, the small group of extremists on this campus.
Today, AOC was at Columbia. The leadership you have is just so fantastic. This after one of the ringleaders of these anti-Semitic pro-terrorists said all Zionists must die. And turned around and apologized, but blamed right-wing agitators for going through his social media feeds. It's just insanity.
Shouldn't have had the camera on if you're going to be a disgusting anti-Semite. But I mean, that Columbia protest leader is emblematic of these kinds of petulant, rich brats that are running America's universities now. Like, he is the poster child, or she is, I'm sorry, whoever you are, you're the poster child. And it's the administrations that really should bear the blame for this, because they enabled this by putting Marxist professors in their classrooms. All they teach is revolution and, power to the people. Well, they're putting that into practice right now. They're laying siege to this campus because that's what the professors told them to do.
But with every new day of negotiation, with every good event that gets canceled, it creates more fuel for the people who want to take over their campuses, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, and we're seeing Soros funding it, which when that news broke, I thought was probably the least surprising news we could have seen. And the first thing that pops into my head is the irony of it, in that as someone who has written about Soros, and I'm sure this has happened to you guys as well, if you dare criticize the guy, what is the one term you get called? And that is anti-Semite. Now, he can fund groups that are de facto pro-Hamas, and apparently we would be anti-Semites for even pointing out that he's the one doing this. And actually, back in 2007, after Hamas took power, Soros wrote an op-ed where he criticized the U.S. and Israel for not working with Hamas, describing them as a democratically elected organization. So he has no plausible deniability there. He is de facto supported them financially and in his writing.
Staying on what Matt is talking about, so fueling this anti-Semitic mayhem on college campuses, of course, none other than George Soros, who's been bankrolling professional agitators to intensify these protests.
So Soros Organization, U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, has worked alongside Students for Justice in Palestine, or SJP, providing up to $3,660 for campus-based fellows in return for 8 hours a week organizing campaigns led by Palestinian organizations. Soros's Open Society Foundation has donated more than $300,000 to SJP since 2017, and the Soros-linked Rockefeller Brothers Fund has funneled an additional $355,000 to the radical group since 2019. It's a ton of money, okay? And it is explicitly to foment this kind of stuff. I'll go to you first, Matt. I mean, he planted the seeds, and the weeds are growing.
Well, that's the one commonality with Soros funds. I mean, we saw that with the DAs and in the past, and it's basically just chaos. And that's the question people ask me is, what motivates Soros? And I can't get in the guy's head, but you can't really give the guy the benefit of the doubt that he's one of these people who's just
How can you do that?
Yeah, it's impossible. So yeah, it sounds like an overly simplistic answer, but it really just is chaos. It is the common thread in everything he funds.
I mean, even Mayor Eric Adams said that there were outside agitators at these protests. So the jig is up. The students can't pretend that this is some organic kumbaya moment. We know that there's a boatload of money funding these, radical demonstrations. So, I mean, they can't just say, oh, this is spontaneous. We know. I saw at Columbia the carts of food and drinks neatly packaged being shuffled into the occupied zone. They're being bankrolled.
Right.
Well, the Treasury could do something about it if that money is being funneled to individuals or even groups that commit acts of violence. But it's Biden's Treasury.
Absolutely right. And these students have no idea what the practical implications are of these BDS and other regimes that they're calling for. To Matt's point, he nails it, though. The left is already saying these are smears against George Soros. They're anti-Semitic. In reality, his own spokesperson has said, yes, we are giving these funds to create peace in Palestine and with Israel. What peace? This is only more division between students and the American people.
Right.
I just want to hear Hamas surrender, release the hostages. I want to see it and hear it over and over again. And from these people, you never hear it. So it's Friday. Let's have a little fun, shall we? Usually this game is called Two Truths and a Lie. But with Biden, there's a lot of lying. So take a listen to 3 wild things old Joe spewed to Howard Stern this morning, starting with this.
I looked at my mom. I said, honey, you haven't said anything. She said, Joey, let me remember. True story. She said, remember when they were desegregating Linfield, the neighborhood? There was, 70 homes built at one suburbia. And I told you, and there was a black family moving in, and there was people who were down there protesting. I told you not to go down there, and you went down. Remember that? And you got arrested for standing on the porch with a black family.
Arrested for standing on a porch with a black family. Okay, let's move on to this one.
Did you ever save anyone's life when you were a lifeguard? Was anyone ever drowning?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, well, half a dozen times. Usually younger kids, but...
You do the thing with the whistle and then jump in the bathing suit? And
you got it.
Didn't need that visual. Here's the last clip, and then we'll let you decide which are true and which are fibs.
Did you hate law school? Was law a passion of yours? Or
No, it wasn't. Look, I was a jerk in law school.
Ding, 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 ding. Tricia.
I was a lifeguard, and I definitely didn't see 6 drowning, so I'm calling that a lie.
All right.
Yeah, no, pathological liar. Just not an old geezer, pathological liar.
Well, can anybody find the truth in there? Is there a truth in there?
I guess him being a jerk in law school, I could see being true. Besides that, I thought this segment was going to be like a trick, and they were all going to be lies, and you were going to try to catch us. But I think that one maybe.
I felt like it was a giveaway. The last one was like the dead giveaway, wasn't it?
The being arrested for standing in solidarity with a black family who moved into the neighborhood. The man 14 years ago gave the eulogy at a former KKK exalted Cyclops' funeral, Senator Robert Byrd. So maybe stop telling that story.
I mean, this man claimed he was at Ground Zero on 9/11. Not true.
Yeah.
We could play this game all day is what you're saying. Tricia, Caroline, Matt, great to see you guys. Thanks for being here.